Disturbing allegations in a new lawsuit filed against rapper Kanye West, who now goes by Ye. Trevor Phillips, a former employee, claims West spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories in front of staff and students of his private school, Donda Academy. Phillips accuses West of comparing himself to Hitler, saying he wanted to shave students' heads and lock them in cages. The lawsuit also spells out threats of physical violence, inappropriate sexual behavior, and anti-LGBTQ comments. And this is the latest in a slew of discrimination and wrongful termination lawsuits filed by former employees of West and his school.
Ye's legal troubles continue to grow as he's sued by another former employee.
Kanye West, also known as Ye, born June 8, 1977 in Atlanta, Georgia, initially gained recognition as a producer for Rockefeller Records in the early 2000s. Kanye has left a significant imprint on the fashion world, collaborating with renowned brands and establishing his own Yeezy brand in partnership with Adidas. Kanye's high-profile marriage to Kim Kardashian and battles with mental health issues have also captured significant media attention.
You got tons of fans, huh?
Good morning. Thank you. You lucky, Kanye. Excuse me. Sorry.
A new lawsuit filed in California has accused Kanye West of several instances of discrimination and anti-Semitism. The lawsuit seeks upwards of $35,000 in damages from a Trevor Phillips who worked for Kanye, aka Ye, at both his fashion brand Yeezy and at his school, Donda Academy. Now, the new filing is a 47-page complaint that has instances of creating a hostile work environment by threatening and sexually harassing staff. And according to the allegations, Kanye also regularly praised and compared himself to Hitler over the course of their working relationship.
But this lawsuit, it was filed out in Los Angeles by a man named Trevor Phillips, who worked at Donda Academy. And Phillips is suing West, Donda Academy, West's Yeezy entities, and 1 to 100 unnamed co-defendants for discrimination, hostile work environment, retaliation, labor code violations, wrongful termination, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and breach of contract. He claims that West treated black staff worse than white staff, and in particular targeted Phillips, a black man, and showed him, quote, complete and utter disdain. The suit begins with Phillips explaining how he was hired by West, and he was placed on a team called the Vertically Integrated Crew, or VIC. And the first red flag was about payment. So Kanye allegedly told the VIC, quote, I can't have you guys working without paying you. And according to Phillips, Kanye then told the team that he expected them to work 60 to 80 hours a week and promised to pay them $100 per hour. However, Phillips says that Kanye ultimately paid Phillips substantially less than $100 per hour.
Some of you may remember back in October of 2022, Kanye posted on Twitter saying he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, which was taken as a threat or incitement of violence against the Jewish population and received substantial backlash.
Back in October of 2022, you might remember that Kanye tweeted to his tens of millions of followers, quote, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Phillips says shortly thereafter, Twitter removed the statement, locked Kanye out of his account. And then he doubled down on that rhetoric in a series of interviews saying things like, quote, Jewish underground media mafia, and how, quote, every celebrity has Jewish people in their contracts. Quote, Jared Kushner is an example of how the Jewish people have their hand on every single business that controls the world.
The condemnation of Kanye West is reaching fever pitch, intensifying after he was banned from Twitter for this anti-Semitic tweet, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
This vile act of anti-Semitism is something anyone with a brain could see coming.
West is not in hiding, seen out to dinner with a model who some believe is his new girlfriend.
You can't just say something that is so really hateful. Yeah. You just can't say that, and there's no accountability for that.
Actress Jamie Lee Curtis was outraged when she read the tweet.
I burst into tears. I woke up and burst into tears. DEFCON 3 on Jewish people?
Today, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who is seeking to purchase Twitter, says he reached out to West, who now calls himself Ye. Talked to Ye today and expressed my concerns about his recent tweet, which I think he took to heart.
Kanye West is no stranger to controversy. Throughout his entire career, he has been known for several different instances, such as interrupting Taylor Swift at the MTV Music Awards in September of 2009, his comments on George Bush during the Hurricane Katrina relief concert in 2005, his ventures into the fashion industry with DW Kanye line at the Paris Fashion Week in 2011, his support for former President Donald Trump, his social media conduct in acquiring the conservative platform Parler, his anti-Semitic remarks in 2022, which caused him to have his Instagram suspended, his White Lives Matter shirt, and his comments about the Black Lives Movement overall.
Music, so thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Kanye West. What he said was George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I resent it. It's not true. And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
Rapper turned fashion designer Kanye West displayed his women's wear on the catwalk for the first time. Just to clarify, the clothes these models are wearing were designed by him. That's his women's wear collection, and this is Paris Fashion Week. He didn't jump up on the catwalk in, well, it doesn't matter. The collection, ingeniously titled KW, plays on shapes including loose-fitting jackets, tops and trousers to tight-fitting dresses. Oh, watch your hood. Warned ya. The Gold Digger singer made an appearance at the end of the show to thank the crowd. He's received mixed reviews, but whatever doesn't kill him.
It was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape. For me, also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Ralph Lauren, looks up to American industry guys.
Yet another controversy for Kanye West, also known as Ye. He's been locked out of his Twitter account now, the platform suspending him after an anti-Semitic tweet. That tweet said, quote, "When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." His tweet continued saying, quote, "The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew." 2 days after he made headlines for wearing a White Lives Matter shirt during his fashion show in Paris, he called the Black Lives Matter movement a scam, posting on Instagram that the movement is now over. He also talked about race matters on Fox News Channel's Tucker Carlson's show on Thursday.
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have.
Currently, Kanye's former Donda Academy employee, Trevor Phillips, has put forth a lawsuit that accuses Kanye West of fostering an environment that promoted racism and referred to Adolf Hitler in a positive light. The lawsuit also claims that the employees were subjected to a hostile work environment and faced racial discrimination.
They say people learn from their mistakes. Clearly, Kanye West is an exception. Days after making anti-Semitism tweets, the American rapper is once again facing flack online for praising none other than Adolf Hitler. In an interview with U.S. conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, West declared his love for Nazis and admiration for Adolf Hitler himself. West wore a black mask completely covering his face and said, "I see good things about Hitler. This guy invented the highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classification. Every human being has something of value that they bring to the table, especially Hitler. I like Hitler."
The lawsuit from Phillips also details certain toxic behaviors exhibited by Kanye. According to the lawsuit, racial slurs were used by Kanye and his associates, and that employees were pressured to adopt a certain dress code reflecting a so-called slavery mentality. Kanye had been under fire recently for his anti-Semitic remarks and losing his brand to Adidas just a month prior. But Kanye was heard by Phillips as stating, "The Jews are stealing my money, the Jews are out to get me, Jews are working with Adidas to freeze up my money." Now, it gets even stranger where Phillips states that one meeting occurred at the Nobu Hotel. There, Kanye went on an anti-Semitic tirade whilst praising Adolf Hitler. But Kanye also requested that the hotel staff play the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson, and it's claimed that Kanye watched the film on mute and was mimicking masturbation while talking about orgies.
A lawsuit filed on Tuesday, April 2nd, paints a disturbing picture of Ye's Donda Academy, an educational institution that opened and closed in 2022. A former Donda Academy employee, Trevor Phillips, paints a picture of a sexually abusive environment. He alleges in the lawsuit that West summoned him to a room at the Nobu Hotel where the rapper put on the Batman and watched in silence.
And Phillips, on several occasions, says that he witnessed Kanye preach to his staff obscenities such as, quote, "The Jews are out to get me," and, quote, "The Jews are stealing all my money." Kanye said, quote, "Yeah, I am going for the gays. First the Jews, then the gays. Gay people are not true Christians, and gay people are controlled by Bill Gates so that they don't have children for population control."
Now, Donda Academy itself is located in the Simi Valley, California area and is named after Kanye's late mother, Donda Kanye. Phillips' role at the school was to act as an overseer for the school's community garden, growing plants for materials for the Yeezy clothing line. Now, there was also an agreement between Kanye and Phillips to pay him $100 an hour, but she states that he made far less than that. Kanye is also thought to have said that he wanted to shave the children's head and even build a jail within the school. Phillips accuses Kanye of stealing the school children's fees for a personal trip to Paris, as well as making very inappropriate commentary about black people in front of the students. Now, to add insult to injury, there's also a threat of physical violence from Kanye towards Phillips at some point, as well as Kanye telling in front of 100 people that he would effing fire Phillips on one incident.
"Can't have you guys working without paying you." And according to Phillips, Kanye then told the team that he expected them to work 60 to 80 hours a week and promised to pay them $100 per hour. However, Phillips says that Kanye ultimately paid Phillips substantially less than $100 per hour. Now, having said that, let's move on. Phillips claims that this, quote, dangerous rhetoric continued in front of school children, no less. He alleged that West started to openly discuss how he only likes to date white women in front of the children, and then told the two school children that were in front of him that he wanted to shave their heads, that he intended to put a jail at the school, and that they could be locked in cages. It says that West, on one occasion, admitted to Donda staff that he took $2 million of the school's budget for a Paris trip. And Phillips wondered if that was actually the school children's tuition, and provides an example that during a meeting, Phillips had suggested teaching students about solar panels. West then allegedly publicly rejected that proposal in front of the staff, screaming, quote, "Solar panels? Don't ever say that again, the way you think." But according to Phillips, only a few weeks later, a white school employee raised the idea of teaching the students about solar panels, and West said, "This is genius." Once Phillips pushed back against Kanye's bigotry and instructions to violate the law, he became an even bigger target. And then he goes on to say that in return, Kanye responded, without mercy, with incessant harassment, humiliation, and attempts to both mentally control and destroy Phillips. Goes on to say, quote, "Kanye's ill will towards the plaintiff ultimately culminated in a vulgar lashing in front of school children and their parents. Kanye even threatened Phillips with physical violence."
In the suit, Phillips describes a particular incident between him and Kanye over the state of the Donda Academy garden, in which Kanye threw a temper tantrum and attempted to lift and toss the entire garden, threatening Phillips with physical violence. Afterwards, Kanye seemed to have a change of heart and told Phillips that he would have a second chance at life. In the suit is also included a text message exchange between Kanye and Phillips concerning a seed request that had been made.
Why am I asking the same thing over and over? I am on some complete Hitler-level stuff, minus the gas chambers, in Jesus' name.
And one of the most egregious claims in this lawsuit is the scenario in which Kanye is trying to find a new property for Donda Academy, in which Phillips informs Kanye that the site chosen is actually a decrepit church and that there's exposed electrical wires that could possibly injure or kill the children. Now, keep in mind that Phillips' own daughter and younger brother attend this academy, and that Phillips informed Kanye that legally the project would require building permits, but Kanye was not very receptive to this.
Phillips recognized that this was not only illegal, but also would put the school children and staff in potentially serious danger. Phillips built up the courage and responded that they needed to get permits as required by the law. Agitated, Kanye aggressively told Phillips, quote, "If you can't do the job, I'll find someone else who can."
Phillips' lawyer, Kanye R. Shagarian, said that the suit was aimed at righting the wrongs his client had suffered and sending a broader message. Quote, "We hope that the famous artist, Mr. Kanye, will understand that his messages, which we allege preach discrimination, anti-Semitism, and love for Hitler, have no place in the world." Now, this lawsuit seeks upwards of $35,000 in damages and has about 10 clauses. Phillips is suing West based on race, color, national origin, medical condition, and medical disability. The second clause of action is a hostile work environment. The third clause is a retaliation claim. The fourth claim is a claim against various entities and those other defendants 1 through 100 who failed to take reasonable steps. 5 through 8 are all violations of the labor code. The ninth clause is a clause of action against entities and the multiple defendants for Phillips being wrongfully terminated in violation of public policy. And 10, the cause of action is the intentional infliction of emotional distress. So tell us below what you think about this case. We look forward to hearing from you. See you around.